Hi guys, welcome back, and we should be live now. We're coming to you live from the Charlotte Curling Club. I'm your temporary host, Trevor Suarez. I think Neil's coming back over in a little bit to host for you guys. We are going to tune the camera very shortly so you guys can see the big pipes, and I will mute myself, and we will make sure that you can hear all the noise out on the ice. So, just give me one moment. I'm going to just make sure we're technically ready for you, and that way you guys can be along with us for the ride.
Good morning, everyone out there. This is Neil Pfeiffer from Charlotte Curling Association for the finals of the 2021 one and only Sweepy Hollow Bomb Spiel. So excited that you could join us. I'm going to go on mute and let you guys enjoy the piping ceremony for all the finalists. Congratulations. Okay, welcome back. Glad you all can join us for the finals of the 2021 one and only Sweepy Hollow Bonspiel. Next year, about this time, about this weekend, if you put it on your calendar, we will be hosting the 2022 Grits and Granite tournament. It will be a 32 team spiel from teams all over the U.S. and Canada. It's one of our signature events here at the Charlotte Curling Association. Again, my name is Neil Pfeiffer. I'm going to be with you, Millie. So, thanks, Andrea. Good to see you. So the Piper's Andrea. She's a member here at Charlotte Curling. She does enjoy curling. She's got to be at her next event. She has two events back to back today, so it's insane because and pictures all around for our finalists. And we will introduce the teams as we're getting slide outs. And we're getting our last bit of ice prepared. We're doing a couple of practice slide outs here. And so we thank all the ice crew, especially Omar Van Ruin and all Matt Kenlin, Brady Gould, and all the others that have helped with ice throughout the weekend. Ice has been fabulous. I think you're seeing it all across the sheets. The times, if you put some stopwatches, I encourage you to have even your phone timer, especially that hog to hog time is going to be one that's going to show you that our ice has been running fast this weekend. And that's a big credit to Omar and his crew. So we thank all the ice crew. You might have heard Dana's voice out there, Dana Derelak and Misty Morris, co-chairs of the 2021 Sweepy Hollow Bonspiel. So we're going to introduce the competitors a little differently. I usually go A to D, but we're going to go from the A to the D event. So we will put you across the sheets. For at home, as you're seeing these practice slide outs, especially for these finals, for the B and C, this is their first game of the day, and yesterday was a big day. They had three games, 2 or 3 games, so lots of practice slide outs here, and we're on a relaxed schedule here. 2 hours and 15 minutes. We're going to just settle on in and watch some amazing curling and lots of stretch outs. It's been a long weekend. They're competitors. These 8 teams out here, folks, have had a beautiful, wonderful weekend out of our 24 team spiel. These are the ones that showed themselves. Lots of close games across the ice. Lots of folks that are lots of close games. So we're settling in here, and Sheet C and Sheet B are going to be throwing their first rocks here shortly. And so welcome again. Again, my name is Neil. If you want to say something in the chat as we move along, we will be reading a few more sponsors in these finals than we did across there. I promise not to go on a tangent about cheese curds and shrimp and grits, but it may be other culinary excitement. So we have the A and D. So our A event finalists, congratulations. This is the championship of the A event, and we're here with Team Jacko Daniels. They're throwing red rocks. They're skipped by Ryan Smith. He was in the house just calling that very first stone. It looks like a team here for the booze are not Hammer. They are a non-Hammer. But Ryan Smith is skipping that team, viced by Kevin Stevens. Second is Matt Kenlin, and Nicole Brown is throwing lead rocks. And team here for the booze, skipped by Brady Gould. You all were here last night, saw that amazing game on Sheet A. Very technical game, and we'll get to that. We'll be recapping that. I talked to Brady this morning. He was part of the ice crew, helping with the ice here, and we thank him for that. And his listed vice is Brett Kubrick, but Brett Kubrick will be throwing second rocks in this game. Nicholas Visnich, he will be throwing third rocks, and he is playing second. And then Jessica Captain will be throwing um, lead rocks for team here from the booze here for the booze. So that is our A event final. They're into the the first the lead rocks. They're just setting up some guards. Looks like Ryan is looking for a corner guard. He's going to be a little more aggressive early than we saw yesterday there. So our D event, Sheet C, our third and fourth place game. These teams have had a wonderful week. They just were just a little bit short on our semifinal game. So Team Squid Pro Quo, Steve McKee and Carol McKee are playing back end, and then Brad and Amanda Smith are playing front end for Team Squid Pro Quo. Now, as Carol has had to sub in and out for health issues throughout the weekend, shout out to Nathan and Megan Wright. They have subbed in admirably. They're brand new curlers, and we saw Megan playing last night in the semifinals throwing second rocks. So that is Team Squid Pro Quo. They are throwing red rocks. And then Team Hoblin Goblins out of the Triangle Curling Club. I didn't mention that, but Jacko Daniels and Here for the Booze and Squid Pro Quo were all Charlotte Curling. They are all out of Charlotte. Team Hoblin Goblins, Kim and Di Hicks. Kim is throwing skips rocks. Di is throwing second rocks. And then Mario Riveron, you saw him just making amazing dribbles last night. So he is definitely taking a look at this line of Brad's as it goes down and nestles into that corner, trying to get behind that corner guard. You're seeing it looks like the red rocks on both sheets are being really aggressive. Now, folks out there, I know you're watching and you know this, but newer curlers think that a lot of rocks in play is being conservative and hitting rocks is being aggressive. But we all know out there that when you play clean ends and there's lots of hitting, then that is a very conservative game. It's super easy, and so you've seen this from Di Hicks. She's throwing second rock. She just hit that and just was like, no, we're going to clean this end up. So, and Keith Hammer is, I should have mentioned him. He's thrown his lead rocks. He is from Circle City, so this is a hybrid Triangle Circle City team. And Keith has had a beautiful weekend, looking great, thrown a lot of great guards and thrown into the house, thrown a lot of good hits. All right, so our B event is on sheet D. To the left of your viewing, to the right of your viewing area, you can see our skip there, Topper Waters, Team Waters, on fire this weekend. They have just ripped through the B event. They had a early loss and then they have just taken care of business to get here. And so Topper and Randy Waters in the back, and then Jamie and Christy Belafontaine, and we're already into Jamie's rocks. And he is this sheet of ice D has been running just a bit slower, and you see that with those higher guards. So D has been running just a bit slower than the other three sheets. So they're going to get used to that, and it looks like Team Hot Shots, skipped by Alan Shaw. This is a hybrid team, folks. This is just for this weekend. They have had a beautiful weekend to get here. I call them Steal Your Way to Victory, a book written by Alan Shaw. I doubt they even wanted Hammer, but it looks like they do have second rocks. But if they score and flip Hammer, watch out, folks. You're going to see a lot of steals. So Alan Shaw, Tim Betteridge, Tom Staley, and Wes Castelli. That's a hybrid team. Tom Staley was a late addition to that team. Talked to him, and he came down. His family has actually moved to the Charlotte area, and they did a Learn to Curl, one of our last Learn to Curls in our Learn to Curl season, and he came down from Raleigh and taught it, so he got to get on our ice early with his family, and a good chunk of that family has joined Charlotte Curling. So folks, it's a small community. It's Raleigh is just about a 2.5, maybe 3 hour drive down the road. So our two North Carolina dedicated clubs that opened very similar. Within a few months of each other, we opened our dedicated ice, and so a lot of crisscross. A lot of Charlotte folks go to Raleigh to curl. A lot of Raleigh folks, as you see in the finals here on sheet C and D, and then we're going to go to sheet A, the C event. I know out there you gave us some comments, so we only call them Team Hosjan for one time, but it's Team Hosjan, and they are Coats and Hose, and they wanted to change their name way late in the thing. But you saw Dawn Hosian; she's throwing Vice rocks. Jeremy is throwing Skips rocks, and David. It looks like Cameron Coates, who is the listed member of their team that would normally throw 3 rocks. He's one of our juniors, but he also plays football. And he was having a little bit of a trouble there. Hope he feels better. So a late addition on that team. Very common. You might have saw him last draw. Jimmy Rajushka, he's playing the back-to-back. He's going to be throwing second rocks. And David Coates is going to be throwing lead rocks for this team Hosian. And they are playing, and they're throwing red rocks and wishful thinking yellow rocks. And they are skipped by Mark Palmieri, who just made that nice hit and roll over. It looked like it rolled over, just nudged out. So they're still sitting one there on sheet D, sheet A, and they are. Trevor Gow is throwing third rocks and vice skipping. Cameron Kim is throwing second rocks, and you saw Chris Berry. I was wondering how long it took for the pineapple pants to come out, folks. Those of you that know Chris Berry know that he is regionally famous for pineapple pants. And it did take till the finals to see those, but I'm glad to see that Team Wishful Thinking has allowed Chris to break out those pineapple pants. All right, so we're going to go to the main sheet, and let's look across and see what we're doing. So sheet A is the C event, sheet B is the A event, sheet C is the D event, sheet D is the B event. How is that even possible? I don't think any letters match up, but we just flip. No. And so we'll keep you updated on the score. So it looks like we've got a very, as we expected on these B and C seats, a very conservative, open game to start. We're going to have clean ends and just kind of trying to figure out this ice. These center sheets have been consistently fast, but we've noticed on each handle, the in-turn, the out-turn, there might be just slight imperfections or little differences on the handles as they're coming in. So it's not. So they're just going to try to figure all that out this first end. They're not trying to get a big end. They're just trying to keep everything clean, hit it. Now, if there is an opportunity to score later in the end, they may take it, which it looks like on sheet B with Kevin Stevens. They're playing this split where they're just hitting this and trying to get these two guards out of there. And so he's throwing a normal weight. Looks like they're wanting to fight that curl. Matt Kenlin on the sweep there. They're worried about hitting that out, but if he had enough weight on it, and it didn't stay out as far as they wanted, and so it just pushed that red out, that shot rock out, and now there are two split yellows. So that was not the result they wanted. A little early. On that second vice rock, a little early to be trying to call that precise of a hit, and sometimes you just pay the price if you try that really. Oh, okay. So on sheet A, we've got Team Hosian. We got last It looks like Team Hojan is a non-hammer, and they are sitting two. And this is a really strong position for them to be in. So I think a perfect rock here would actually guard shot rock and kind of let them have, because it looks like they're very close to even. So that's going to be a hard double, folks. That's going to be a hard double, especially on the outside. And it looks like it's even guarded. So he's going to be throwing a center guard, or he wouldn't mind it to get in the house as a third counter and make him make a triple. As a club curler, it's tough to get that. So it looks like it's well inside the house. So they're going to sweep this over and maybe lock it on. And they took a little bit of a turn there at the end, and sure enough, they've got that 1, 2, and it could potentially be that third rock. So now we've already got Mark Palmieri and Trevor. Trevor's got his arms crossed there, and he's staring at Mark's kind of lining up the hit, and I think Trevor sees what we see, which is if we go for that hit, if he's just a little bit off, he knocks his own yellow out, and then you start adding a big number, and that would not be the way you want to start a match. So we're Trevor's going to be, yep, they're just going to try to chip that out and get the double, and maybe limit them to steal one, which would be okay. There's no reason not to steal one, so we can see about team wishful thinking. And they've played this first end fast. I want to tell you, Jeremy, I've skipped against him a number of times. He's going to call a quick game. As he likes to say, there's only 3 shots in curling: guard, draw, or hit. So it looks like they're sitting 3. And so Mark will be sliding out on the last rock here. So let's see what happens. He threw it. It's good weight, folks. This is going down, and they're on the sweep pretty hard. We know it kind of curls towards the boards just a bit more. They're going to try to get this, and they got it by the guard. They're on the inside of this, and then they got the 2, and I think they did limit. They limited the damage, folks, kept themselves in the game. That would have been a big steal of 3. Nice shot by Mark, and there we go. So let's go ahead to our main draw, and you saw Brady. We're going to focus on our championship match, and Ryan is stepping in the hack here, and it looks like he's got a shot for 2. So a nice little draw here. How the end worked out. And it was a little run back there, and so Ryan Smith is stepping in the hack. You see, talking to his front end, just talking about time, talking about weight, trying to get this draw here. Nothing better than on a first end if you can find draw weight. So it looks like he gave that a little positive. So they're on the sweep. They were worried about the speed, but now as they get closer, they're up. So it is running way faster than they first thought. So they're hoping that this stays around. But we think, from our eyes here, it looked like he put a lot of positive on that, and that with that ice running as straight and as fast as it's been there. Yeah, it's close. They're actually looking. They may have a measure. This was just going to be an add-on for 3, but it may just be 1, folks. We've got it there. The Vices are definitely taking a second look. They may just pull. Yep, they are going to pull. So let's go ahead and zoom in on the sheet there on B on that far side. We're going to have a measure on our championship match. So we'll zoom in there, and you guys can see which rock do you think it is. There we go. And folks, we don't have officials here. And since Ryan is playing in this, yours truly, the announcer, is actually doubling as the official. So if they need a ruling, then I am that independent arbiter. I haven't played a single game of curling this weekend. So as much as I like everyone, so they're doing it, and they definitely measured. It is 1 red. They did not indicate which red it was, but hopefully that Vice will hang that score, and we'll get it right on it. What do you think, folks? Was it From the feed, we've got a little bit of a smushed screen. And yep, it was only one. Very, very close measure there. So let's go ahead and zoom back out to our main sheet. And all of our sheets have headed to the second end. And it looks like Team Hot Shots did get that hammer flipped. Oh no, folks. On sheet D, Team Waters. They may not have had the scouting report from yours truly here up in the warm room. And you have not seen a whole weekend of Alan Shaw's magical steal game. But now we're full on. We're throwing, and when Wes Castelli gets in the hack and he asks for the center guard, folks, he's been curling at a very high percent, 90+% on these center guards, especially after the first end when all that frost has been kicked off the ice. And they're just getting on this a little early, and we've noticed it's been a little slow, but sure enough, it's going to get over the hog line and it's going to curl nicely and be, biting that high side of the of the center line. And when I say high side, I mean the handle side as you're going up. So he put that guard exactly where Allen needed it. And it's pretty well taken away that a big chunk of that draw path just because of the way that the ice has been curling. So as Topper Waters steps in, he's going to look to draw around and be the first to the button. Try to limit this damage. So as Christy Belafonte is coming in, they're on it hard. They're trying to get it there. Randy and Jamie are on the sweep. It just hung out a bit wide there, so he's going to leave it a little higher. It is biting the 12-foot. So Allen with Wes, he's probably going to just put one in, and then we've seen this where it's a double guard. Folks, you guys can call the shots at home. We can call the shots here from the warm room, and we know that sheet D is just setting up a good end. All right, so we'll go back to our main view because we want to see all these championship matches. I think we want the Cinco. The Cinco rectangle is what, I mean, that is what people know. Yeah, it is patent pending, and I think this, yeah, that's right. The Cinco rectangle is what we're used to, folks. If you've watched us all weekend, if we start showing you different views, you just don't feel like you're at home here at Charlotte Curling. So, we see Di Hicks. She's throwing a lot of weight, a normal weight takeouts. Looks like just a bit wide, trying to move this red rock just a bit wide. Was trying to get that double, was adding a little extra, and sometimes all of us club curlers, when we add a little extra, that out-turn handle just stays a little straighter, kind of flares out a bit. It's hard. You have to throw a lot of rocks to not have that happen. So as we're moving across and we're into the second rocks, we're seeing a lot of good action here, folks. Lots of close games. Early in the week, you'd see some, big numbers, big crooked numbers, sometimes 4s and 5s and 3s and 6s, and we saw that. But in these championship matches, it's we're just at a beginning of a 2 hour plus roller coaster ride that's gonna determine our event winners. So we did design a Charlotte event pin just for Sweepy Hollow. This is a coveted little souvenir of all four. Yeah, and we might even be able to get on there. It's got a headless horseman with a curling stone with the date and all of that. So it doesn't have what we would normally consider to be Charlotte curling. Our mascot is a hornet. We'll talk about that a little later. If you're not familiar about the Charlotte Hornets, you might recognize them as an NBA team. You might not realize the historical significance of a hornet. Some of you out there might know the story. if you're from the local area. Our curling club is only 2 miles from the historical significance of a Charlotte Hornet. So if anybody's got a little idea, you can throw it in the chat. But I'll tell the story here on the third end, beginning of the third end. So I'll give you a little bit of time. You can do the googly things, but I'm happy to share because you want to just watch some curling. You probably got it up on the big screen. And welcome everyone as you're coming to the final Sunday. If you backed up and want to hear a member of Charlotte Curling, Andrea, who also plays bagpipes. She had another, she would have loved to curl in this tournament, but she is in another event this time of year. October's a big month for bagpipers, so she gets it on her schedule. She makes it work. She was, so we appreciate her talents and her volunteer. She volunteers and it does not cost our club a thing. We're a team of volunteers here. And I'm here with Trevor Suarez, the AV guru. He is, folks, you don't understand. He came in and just overhauled everything. Made everything work. He is a magician. He's a magician with a computer. And he's been here all weekend. You heard his stylist musings in the first draw, that C semifinal. Some exciting games there. Came down to the last shot. So welcome to those folks who are listening. And I'm going to tell you what, folks. After that tight hitting game, and that we are seeing that team Squid Pro Quo with their original lineup, the lineup in the program. No, just leave it. And Team Squid Pro Quo, and they are lining up. They're sitting 2 with a guard with their original lineup. They are a tough team to handle, especially early on. We're trying to find the ice. Kim is having just some discussions with Di, probably finding out where the broom is. If there's a little bit of just a little bit difference in the ice, a little bit difference in the. And then you see Steve McKee up here as a skip. He was worried it was super short, but this is running really fast. So that top 12, and actually it's going to slide through, maybe even be full 12. They're going to be happy with that. I think Kim, even though he has just watched 2 of his teammates miss a couple of hits, and as Mario gets in the hack, I think he's going to go right back to that hit game, clean this up, try and get this opened up so he can either get his one or a blank end. So let's see as Mario gets in the hack. Let's see. So he gets there, and they're off the broom again. And now Di's on the broom, and they're worried about it over-curling. He does get her off, and he does like it. And that was a lot of weight, folks, but it did move those 2 rocks, did not get them out. It was a little, we call that hitting it a little thick. So if you hit it a little thick, it's going to be, it's going to just go straight back and kind of, it doesn't matter how hard it is. It's just like a cue ball, a billiard ball. If you hit it hard and if you don't give it any angle, you're not going to get any movement. You can hit it really hard and it's just going to stick there, and that's what happens with these curling stones. They also have a strike band. Our rocks were purchased as soon as we got the facility. They were brand new rocks to open up with this facility, and so the strike bands of these championship rocks, they're going to narrow those up. Ours are just a bit wider, so they're not going to get that championship lively action that you will see on television probably later on as you're watching the mixed doubles Olympic trials or the finals of Canada's Olympic last chance qualification. So as they both go through. So we're just stacking rocks up in the back of the house here. And what you're noticing, folks, is the first end, maybe a little frost. We did mop that ice right before they played, but there's just like knocking down that pebble just a bit. So that first few rocks may be just a bit slower. We don't have practice time, so we just start off, do a few full slides, and go ahead and throw rocks. So that first end, you saw rocks higher in the house. You saw them getting used to the weight, and then that ice gets screaming fast, folks, and a 4 flat draws to the back front. And so you'll see some rocks stacked up in the back of the house, but they're going to find their way. These teams have been the best 8 of the weekend, and you'll see them start to get more precise as the game goes along. So it looks like they were Team Squid Pro Quo on sheet C, that 3rd, 4th place game. They guarded up, went to the top of the 12-foot, but there is a room here to draw. So looks like Kim is going to try to sink one in here behind a guard. So they've tightened up his line, get one on the 4-foot, and top 4 would be really good here. Even top 8, he just wants to get a lot of these counters in. Oh wow, I have miscalled this. He is hitting, folks. He's cleaning this up. He's like, my team couldn't do this, but I'm going to do it. And it looks like he just got rid of that guard and just cleaned it up and was like, yep, here we go. So I think Steve and Carol are happy to have that guard exactly where that was. So we're into Skip's Rocks on the second end. Welcome all the folks. If you could just shout out to where you are, shout out to where you're from, where you're watching from. I'd love to hear that. All right, so that was a nice shot from Ryan Smith on his first Skip's Rocks. So this is shaping up to be a good end for Team Jacko Daniels. They're playing in the back of the house. Folks, that's going to be my first book. My Life Behind the Tee Line, back of house stories. And so I don't know, I've compiled some cool stories, and I just know as a young curler we're always a little bit behind the tee line. Sometimes you don't want to be there, but if you live there a lot, you know it's a kind of a fun place to be. So as Team Gould, Brady Gould, here for the booze, he's in the hack, and he's going to be coming around. It looks like he's looking like he's going to try to go ahead and raise or promote this yellow. If he clears it out, it just gives him a draw path. He probably doesn't want to be on this red at all. Oh, he came through the port. What a shot, and rolled over. Nice shot there from Team Gould. Had the sweep, held it straight, high fives, fist bumps early on. That is a tough shot. So looking at Ryan, he's like, nope, I'm not going to try to follow that in. Even if he did, it would jam on the back. So he's like, nope, I'm not going to take that risk. I'm just going to go ahead and draw, put one on the butt behind a center guard. It's still going to be a great shot. Maybe he comes in with just a bit more weight and tries to nudge that out and sit over top and then make Brady draw against 2, or it looks like it would be 2, drawn against 2. So they're waiting for this to curl a bit, but they are getting on the sweep. Matt Kenlin with the sweep, folks. He was holding it out there, needs to curl a bit more, and then he gets it back there. They like it. They like that. They just raise their broom up. Ryan kind of quickly scoots back. That's a nice shot. He wants to get that, and I think say again? So I think Brady's just going to line in here. Looks like he's been forced to one. He's not trying to do anything except for just get a full button shot. This is pretty common, typical of an early game. They got forced to one, and it was a measure. It was close. They had a chance at a big end early, which would have given them a big lead, but they had a great comeback, forcing this team to draw for one. This is not an easy draw, folks. Brady just threw an up weight takeout through a port, so to come back and try to draw one to the button. This is why he had. It looks like he's just a bit wide, and he's wanting it to curl. It is slowing up in that frost a little bit. We're hoping it curls. Just doesn't look like it's going to curl enough, and it has got a lot of weight on it, folks. So 1 red. We knew that was a tough shot. It was a back 12 weight there. Just needed to be a little better. We don't have practice. We can't throw both handles to get those button shots like perfect on the first end. So looks like that it's 2-0. This is early in the game. Team Jacko Daniels takes an early 2-0 lead at the second end going to the third end. So it looks like they have not hung the score on sheet A or C or D. So they haven't hung that second, but we're into the third end, folks. And I told you we were going to talk about the Charlotte Hornets in these lead rocks. And so if you don't know the story, it's pretty interesting. The Charlotte Hornets are named for a Revolutionary War reference because the Southern campaign of the Revolutionary War was in full effect. The British were landing in Charleston, heading up through the southeast, collecting supporters to be a force to go against the revolution. And so there was lots of Tories in the southeast that had sympathies for the British Empire. So that general's adding helpers and troops and looting and just coming through the southeast. And then he wrote in his journal that he wouldn't go to Charlotte. Charlotte would have been a great place to be. We had a mint. There was a lot of gold mining in the area. And so he knew that that would have been a place where he could have come into the city, which at that point was just a smaller town. And if he looted the banks, looted the mint, he would have gotten a lot of money. But he chose not to come to the city because he said it was a hornet's nest of insurrection. And there was a lot of Western Highlanders, Scottish Highlanders, which you probably know from the Outlander series. So it was set in North Carolina. So the western part of the mountains are very similar in topography and climate as the Scottish Highlands. So we had a lot of Scottish folks here that were used to fighting the British Empire. So they immediately joined in. And they had the regulators, and so this town would have been the town they would have come to do their banking, to do their business, and so there was a hornet's nest of insurrection. So they signed the Mecklenburg County Declaration of Independence before the United States, which they called the Unified States Declaration of Independence. We shortened it to Declaration of Independence. But that was signed a few months before, and that was signed only 2 miles from the curling club. You drive by it now. They're right on the outside of the property. There's an Amazon warehouse, but that is where that term comes from. So we proudly have a hornet as our mascot. So as we're moving into second rocks, as we're going away from the warm room, you see a lot of clean ends, folks, going away from the warm room. These skips may see that the line's running just a bit straighter, trying to throw some hits, trying to get a curl, and trying to get a little tick. And that was almost a nice double there from Jessica Captain. She threw great weight, just didn't catch enough of that rock to get that hopeful double all the way across the house. That would have been an amazing shot going away from the warm room. So as Team Jack O'Daniels, as Matt Kenley gets in the hack, he's going to be. It looks like they're going for a full-on steal, so he's going to be trying to throw a guard here. They do not want anything in the house. They are worried that it's a little light. I must have missed this call. Oh no, it is checking up. They are getting it, and you know, Nicole Brown, Ryan Smith, they are sweeping together. They are also partners off the ice. So they're used to sweeping together. I mean, we have a lot of bad puns here. I'm just here for bad puns and dad jokes. So looks like we're hitting the one in the outside 12. If they know the ice and they know where it's at, Brett Kubrick throws with normal weight. He's trying to get a big roll, but we've noticed all tournament on sheet B out there in the middle 12. It runs straight as an arrow. So every skip has been calling, just a little bit off the rock. But as you see, as the skips lines up, it may be hard to tell in the feed, folks. But Ryan's putting that right on the rock, because he knows if Matt Kenley can hit that broom with good weight, he will get a big roll underneath, and then the steal is on. So they are hitting this hard. This is a tough line to call, but there it is. He gets the roll across, but it did go underneath just a bit. It did stick around, but that hit and roll is really tough to call. That's one of the hardest shots in curling. Hit and roll over the exact amount, so it's a very precise shot to be early in this game. So it did roll to open cover, so Brett is going to come into the hack on sheet B and then just clear all this out, just clear it out. He may want to roll. It looks like he is wanting to stick, so he's throwing that outside handle. They want it to curl. They want this to curl just a bit more to hit a bit thicker, but he did chip it out. That is the job. Here for the booze, Team Gould is going to want to make this a precise hit. He's going to want to hit and roll over. He is in this A final event. He is not those kind of shots. We don't say they're a miss, because that was a hit call and it was hit. But at this level of curling, championship afternoon, he's going to want to be a little more precise than that. That's going to be called a half miss. So now it just gives an opportunity for Matt Kenlin Kevin Stevens as his first Vice Rocks, just to sink one in. They don't want this deep. They are definitely sweeping this for more curl. And so they sweep it to the tee line just to get it nice and buried behind that single guard. So it looks like because he got down to the tee line, he's going to be asking Nicholas as he gets into the hack, just to give, he said tee line, maybe even a little back eight weight here. He wants him to go ahead and be shot, sink one around. So looks like they're on the sweep. The sweepers are sweeping. They feel like that this was a little light, but now Jessica is trying to carve in, get that curl. It was a little heavy. The sweepers thought it was light, so they're going to have a quick discussion. But that was a back line weight. So those sweepers, they walk back after having a quick discussion with their skip. They want to keep that communication coming, and so it looks like the full steal is on now. So Kevin's just going to be like, put another one in there. This is more about line than weight. A little lighter, half buried is buried, because he wants to stagger these things. They're calling the same thing. This line seems to be running really fast, so they're waiting, but they don't want it to be next to it. Maybe they've made an audible. Yeah, to sweep it behind, just kind of put it behind, so now they can go for that same shot again. And they put one behind. That was an audible right there. He wanted that about 5 feet shorter. But that's the good communication from the sweepers to tell it was back 8. So they just swept it up behind, so they're just lined up. So Nicholas, this is the third rock on this line, exactly the same line. So he's going to have to dial it back, maybe even a 10th, folks, on that third rock on the same line. It's going to roll and run and run. But it was much lighter weight, definitely made an adjustment. But Kevin Stevens is on the sweep there, and he just threw 2 through. Folks, that could have been a great adjustment by Nicholas there, and it still just sped up really quick. So it would have been, we're here for Championship Saturday. We've got 26 to 54 people on the chat. Must be that they're just still getting their morning coffee, because after the late nights last night here at the Charlotte Curling Center, this might feel like a morning coffee kind of day. I know some of you are out there in the brunch land. Shout out brunch. Brunch is a thing. It is a wonderful Charlotte thing. Lots of brunch spots. So not just coffee. You could have breakfast or a sandwich, or put your hand together and have a breakfast sandwich. So it looks like we're going to sink one in. Ryan's looking, he's seen these rocks come, and he saw how quick it's been. So he's definitely a lot lighter, and that is information that his team has given him. So he may be just like, and the sweepers are well judged here. He's trying to get it over, just put it in the top 12, guard those 2. It did roll really well. And so it's the top 12. And folks, this is another end where team here for the booze and Brady Gold is in a little bit of trouble. And Brady's got to hit a shot. We call it a skip's deuce, trying to make shots to limit the damage and maybe get to the next end when they've adjusted to the ice a little better. And so as Brady steps into the hack and those sweepers are there, Jessica's holding the broom. These 2 sweepers, pretty strong sweepers. So we're going to be, he's going to be wanting to get behind that rock that Ryan just threw. And we saw this all the time. And it looks like Brady's a little out wide. And just a bit. We'll see where it's at, but Kevin's going to give it all he can. And it did not curl the way they thought, and it was still just a bit heavy. So I would expect this to be a top 12 guarding that 4 foot, which would make the next draw even tougher. Kind of putting linchpins. He may end up just trying to bite here. He definitely doesn't want to be any deeper than that. But he may be just sitting 4 at the end of this shot. And this championship match would be blown wide open without a key shot. This is what, sometimes your team, just kind of miss a little bit of a weight call, a little bit of an ice call, and then a little tick here, a little tick there, a little heavier there, a little lighter in there. And the front end is they're fighting the curl, but they're saying this may be a little heavy also. So they're just leaving this. So they're kind of between shots, and it's definitely going to be in the house and in that 8 foot, but it did sink very nicely. So it looks like Brady's going to tighten up this ice. There is an open draw path, but he is going to draw against 4. Folks, we saw this team virtually the same makeup, very similar makeup, win the Denver Open curling preseason event. They kind of call it preseason event. It's not that, but it is a early season event that they only traded out 1 teammate, and Brady kept them in that finals. They were in the A event finals. They were not victorious in that game, but Brady was able to make this draw against 4, so he can take that memory of the early season draw and absolutely get this in good. So they think it's light, but then they may, and there's a little fist bump there. Sure enough, he knew he had plenty of backing on that rock that Ryan had just thrown, so they were sweeping it to keep it off, and it took a good bit of that weight off, and Folks, that is a clutch one to keep this a 2-1 game going to the fourth end, coming back towards the warm room. And, folks, that could have been 6 nothing. And honestly, at the talent level of these teams, this would be a very short final. But now we're in for the long haul. And so as Jessica gets in the hack and he's there, he was between two shots. It looked like Brady was going to tap a guard. He wouldn't be upset with a guard here, but he wants to go in. I think he wants to go back to that hit game that was so successful for him in the semifinals. So let's go across the sheet. We've got all kinds of close games here. It looks like on sheet A it's 1-1, and that is they are coming back for that third end. We didn't see the result there of that. They'll probably hang this. It did look like Team Hosian, Coates and Hose, they did score, but we didn't catch how much. Trevor, did you catch how many? Yeah, we were trying to zoom in and we just missed that. Sorry, our crack team of amateur professional AV people just missed out on that last rock, that last stone. But we'll update you as soon as they hang that score. And it looks like David Coates is maybe a little light. They've got 2 sweepers on this rock, and then they're fighting the curl. But he's going to be happy. Jeremy is going to be happy with the 2 guard. He throws his hand up, but he maybe wanted that a little tighter to the rings. Oh, wow, we're going to go over to sheet D really quick. We've got holy smokes, we've got an Allen Shaw. I think all 16 rocks are in play, folks, and the only one is not in play is the one that hasn't been thrown. So let's just zoom in on that button right there because we just got to take a look at this. We've got a lot going on, and there's going to be a whole discussion. Holy smokes. They're just trying to figure out how in the world can Team Waters come up with anything but just the draw for one. This is how we got here, I have no idea. But there is no skip that is wanting 16 rocks all in a scatter shot pattern like a wayward archer that has just been shooting on the right hand side. That I think that we've noticed that curl is pretty significant on sheet D over there. So Topper Waters is stepping in the hack. He's going to have a discussion on the front end. I think he's just going to end up with just trying to draw for one, but he's worried this is not going to hold here. So they've got it tighter. So maybe he thinks he can get to the nose of this and really and knock both out, but then that would give them 2. And when he's down 3-0, Team Shaw, they're on it early. They're getting that sweep. You guys can't see it here as it comes into the picture. You're going to see 2 sweepers really hammering it, trying to keep it off. That's right, trying to keep it off this guard. But no, that was unsuccessful. And as a shock to no one on this broadcast, Team Hot Shot, skipped by Allen Shaw, has stolen again. Folks, if they just need to run, they just need to. We're going to go back to the main down sheet view. Oh yeah, we're going to slide over to sheet C really quickly. I should just trust. We've got that. So, yeah. So, we've got sheet C again. Holy smokes, another scatter shot pattern. I should just listen to my AV guys. Folks, we're a team on and off the ice. Listen to your front end. Listen to the front end. Don't let the skips make all the calls. So it looks like they're trying to draw around this guard. This is a really hopeful draw. We're trying to get over. They're worried about. It was worried that it was a little heavy, and it is. And it looks like Mario just taps that one, and sure enough, it's tied back up. Tied back up, going to the fourth end, coming back in the fourth end. And Trevor, you know this. The fourth end means a sponsor break as they're coming into these early ends. Whoa, 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 whoa. Don't go too crazy, Trevor. So our sponsor break is actually ours truly, Charlotte Curling. Those folks that have never put anything in the chat where they're listening from. So we're assuming that they're from the Charlotte area and you're close to the Charlotte Curling Club. Anyone who watches the sport of curling, even just one time, immediately wants to get out on the ice. Did you know you can curl right here in Charlotte? I know that's shocking as we're bringing a live sheet from a curling sheet in Charlotte, North Carolina. The Charlotte Curling Association have been dedicated to growing the sport of curling in the Charlotte and the South since 2010. They have a 4-sheet dedicated curling facility that hosts many opportunities for educational trips, leagues, and special events. We have a beautiful warm room here, and the Charlotte Curling Association has a junior, adult, senior mentor ranging from. We do not have any Charlotte Curling members that are 0 in age, but we have toddlers all the way up to 0 curling years of experience, all the way up to 50-plus years of curling experience. They boast a growing number of curlers with special needs, including wheelchair curlers and blind curling. Whether you're looking to sharpen your skills on the ice, you want to meet a new group of great people, look no further than Charlotte Curling. Find out more information about events at charlottecurling.com. That's charlottecurling.com. And you can email events at charlottecurling.com if you want to host your event here. So thanks for Megan Wright for writing up this copy for all of our title sponsors. We may, I don't know, it depends on how these games go. If they stay this tight, it's going to be hard to get more than just 2 sponsor breaks in. So as we're looking at the main sheets, we've got Team Hojan up 3-1 against Wishful Thinking. They've got a nice guard set, so it looks like they're trying to get to this back red one. We don't know if it'll get by. Yes, it is by, and it's underneath and rolls behind cover. That is a very quality curling shot there from, it looks like the second, which is Cameron Kim. Very nice shots there to get behind cover. So he's going to ask Dawn, the Vice Rocks there, first Vice Rocks, he's going to ask her to come right in and follow that down. Folks, drawing is no problem for Dawn Hojan. She and Jeremy are a very accomplished mixed doubles team. And so you will see Jeremy call a game where there's plenty of action. It looks like the sweepers are on this all the way. They're on sheet A. They're trying to get by the guard, and they did. And that sweep made it so it was just a bit heavy. They had to get on that hard, folks, all the way down the sheet to get it to clear that guard. And it did nudge it to the other side of the back button. So it looks like Team Wishful Thinking is going to go ahead and Trevor's going to come in. They've got him a little more ice. They've got a little more tolerance for error here. So anywhere in the top 12 to back, even the button would be fine here. But they're going to want to try to go top 4. That's what the skip, Mark, actually asked for. So it looks like they're just cleaning the ice. They're on CT. They think they're a little hot. It needs to curl a bit more. So this wouldn't be great. Up there it is. Chris Berry's going to get on that sweep and curl it towards the center. And perfect weight. Little curl at the end. He's going to be really happy with that. So communicating with Dawn, put it right on the button. If she gets over on the other side of that 4-foot, this is not a hit, folks. This is just a draw. And they're just getting in here as we stay with the commentator on sheet A. It's a very exciting end. Looks like the championship match has a good end working here. We'll go back to B. Dawn's Rock, I'll give you a quick update. They're trying to get it to curl, trying to get it to curl, trying to get it to curl. She was a bit heavy, but got to the inside of that. Yes, got it to the forefoot, replaced that rock. Very happy with that. But here we go. Big rock from Kevin Stevens, trying to get this thing to curl and get on the yellow, but no, it did not. He threw that a lot of weight, trying to get it curl, trying to carve it in. Matt Kinlan on the sweep, folks, just getting that thing to bite and grab just a bit more. So now it looks like it is team Here for the Booze, skipped by Brady Gould with our first skips rock. He's going to want to go right to the top 4, maybe even top 8. He's wanting to get one here locked in, hitting 3 in the house, making Ryan do the same thing he had to do last end, which was draw against 3 or 4, making these skips put a little more pressure, just like a vice kind of. Rome, New York, that's what I'm talking about. Thank you, Jerry. I know everybody is watching is not from the Charlotte area, but welcome, Rome, New York. And it looks like, yes, he was going to the top 8, top 4, keeps going. He's okay with that, top 4. But now we're going to be trying to either draw to the top of that to get those back 2 counters out counted. But it is a close thing there, and he might weld one on here trying to get there. So he's thinking he's either going to line up a hit here or just throw that draw a bit better. So let's see which one he goes for, folks, in this championship match. So Ryan is in his familiar NC State sweatshirt. He's looking at the angles. He's like, can I get to the front face of this rock, maybe even over to the other side where I can get them all out at the correct weight. It's going to be a tough shot. Looks like Kevin's trying to you can't see the discussion in the house. Of course, we don't have mics on the ice. Did we take down the gate? Did we put the gate back up on the ice sheet? Y'all can let us know. Come on, my booze. That's good. Oh, shout out. Oh, we got it. Yeah, it was good. It's good. So oh, okay. Oh, we can. So maybe you'll let us know on there. I know if I'm talking. That the ice sounds kind of go away because of the way we have to set up the audio here. And so if you're okay with that. If you want to hear some ice sounds, let us know in the chat. We'll take down the, we'll take up the sensitivity of the microphone so you guys can hear more of the ice. So, all right, it looks like we are going to be throwing to the back one, just a little hack weight takeout. Nicole's on the sweep, holding the line. They think it's a little light. They're worried about the over curl. They do not want to be on this guard. This would be a really tough shot, but sure enough it did. And actually guarded up their rock. The result is not great, although it did split those guards enough, and Brady's first inclination is to think they can just come right through that port and get rid of all 3. So, yeah, hey, Stephen, oh my gosh, Stephen Kyle, how are you awake? How are you awake? You were here so long last night. Stephen Kyle you were watching them tape Trulies in an inappropriate way on our skeleton, and they were dressed as the cutest Rugrats you'll ever see. No, they are not just children, but they were dressed as the actual characters. They came in costume. They ran the bar. They were amazing last night. Thanks for listening and watching on this finals of the 2021 Sweepy Hollow. Again, my name is Neil Pfeiffer. I am we have people coming in at the exact same time, Steph. All of our friends that took Ubers like responsible adults. They just entered back into the building. They may feel like it's. Yeah, exactly, Steph. We're barely okay. We won't make you turn your camera on. And obviously, I have a face for radio. There is no chance you could see this. I'm wearing a Hawaiian shirt to be a little festive because we're not feeling as festive as that at the late night we had last night. A Saturday night, we gave away a cruise, folks. We had a raffle for a cruise. Shout out to Vic Tomasio. He is the winner of a cruise. He also is a member of Charlotte Curling. We thank him for a lot. Oh, thanks. We wouldn't miss it. All right, so yeah, exactly. Lovely to see you. We're into the fourth end, halfway through these championship matches. There are very tight games going across all the way, but we're going to focus in on sheet B. That's right. We're going to be. It looks like this is really tight ice, so that that he was trying to draw in, get something in the top 12. It wrecked that guard, kind of moved it over. So we're just going to be trying to hit, get rid of sea rocks, get rid of rocks. So we're worried that it's a little wide. They got to get it off this. We're worried that it's going to hit this. They are happy with the, and there it is. Oh, it bounced off. So he's got to steal a one there. It did roll back out, but that is not. That is fine. They are happy with that. They do not want to be giving up a steal, giving up three. So we're going to go back to our main sheet. So as we see these skips rocks on DNA, yep, yep. So wishful thinking with the hammer, and we cannot tell from this angle if they're sitting one or two, but they're just trying to get another one sunk in there to get their two and tie this match up, but they are out in the frost, and sure enough, Mark just waves off the sweepers. It was just a bit light and a little wide, folks, so they kicked that pretty quick, but I think that was a force of one. So I gotta get chill. That's what we gotta do. So, folks, that was a tough shot. That was a technical shot. It looks like they got their one, but they were forced to one. All right, looks like Steve McKee's getting the hack. We're going to quickly move over to sheet C. Give them a little bit of that. We've got our fourth place game, Squid Pro Quo. It looks like he has he is not drawing. He is going to be hitting. A perfect shot here would be a blank. They would want to keep hammer. So he's wanting to double these off, and he's got a lot of ice. So he's trying to get this to come off. So he thinks he needs to take a lot of ice. They've seen it. So they're on the sweep, folks. They're worried it's curling too much. But he did get by. He papered that rock, and now, he didn't get the double. And Mario's sweeping it, but it is one in a force to one. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, that was first Skips Rocks. I thought it was second Skips Rocks, but that was what he wanted. He wanted that double, but he did get it because it overcurled a bit. He did get it to sit shot. So Kim's going to just come in here and make this good. He's going to go out wide. You see out there that Mario's holding that broom outside the 12-foot line. So they think this is going to get a good 5 feet of curl. It's hard to imagine that we would be out that far. But you do see that guard is offset off the center line, a whole rock towards him. So he's going to be throwing this wide. Hopefully it hangs out here. In our ice, the draw pass get worn down a little quicker. So they think this is good. They like the weight. Kim is just sweeping. I'm sorry, Dye is just sweeping. So they think it may be a bit heavy. They're looking for this to curl a bit. And Carroll's on the sweep, trying to get it by. Sure enough, it was a little heavy, just a bit wide. Everybody was just waiting for that thing to curl. And sure enough, now we have a draw for two. He's going to put that broom in the same spot, but I think if that is thrown at the correct weight, they're going to be flirting with that guard, folks. And so we're trying to find the ice, and they're outside the 12-foot, and they may be moving even wider than that. So we'll zoom in on sheet C, and we'll give them the button view. And Steve slides out, and we're going to go here, and they're coming in, and he is heavy also. He's even wider than Kim was. So they're going to be looking to curl this, trying to use the backing that's there. And then Mario's on the sweep. They're taking a quick look at it. Oh, careful, Mr. Hammer, Circle City. Trying to help kick the rocks, tripped over the hack, but they kicked it quickly and they just kind of shrugged, so it may have been a 2, which would have been a good shot for them. You guys had to have sharp eyes, quick eyes. Do you guys think you got the 2? We don't know, but they definitely got the 1. Go ahead to the main. Oh, here we go. On sheet D, we got the Fiery Waters trying to get this to be just a hit for, it looks like a hit for 1. Just get themselves on the board. They are wide, so it may slide by, but it's going to slide out, and it is, we don't know. It could be another steal. Alan Shaw, folks, surprising no one in the warm room. They just shrug their shoulders and say, holy smokes, he stole again. You should not be shocked. This is what he does. Steal your way to victory. I don't even know why they took Hammer on the roll. I think it's just tradition. But if you're curling like this with non-hammer, you just want to be non-hammer as much as possible. So, and just sitting there with Alan Shaw, he just goes out to his 12-foot, and his trusty lead there, Wes, is going to throw another center guard. It is not it is just a formula for victory. Put it on the center line, draw behind it, and then watch the magic happen.
Yep. Sure does. Yep. 2-4 northwest.
All right. Well, Wes, we gave you a shout out. He was looking for that center guard, and but he got it into the house. And if this was an early end, folks, if this was one of the early ends, they'd be hitting that all day. But that is not what we're going to do. We need guards and lots of them to get a high score. So that team, Topper Waters, is just looking for something high in the house, above the house, trying to be there, but it looks like it's just a bit heavy getting all the way to the tee line. So we'll see. Yep, center guard, tight center guard. That's what Alan Shaw's calling, but we're going to just go across, and we'll come back to the sheet D here in a few minutes. Once we get this end set up, we'll probably see a lot of rocks in play. We'll see a lot of things happening. So team, I'm going to call them Team Firewater, on fire this weekend. They've had a great week here at Charlotte Curling. Wes is just a bit heavy again. All right, so we're lead rocks all the way across, and we see that Team Wishful Thinking is got 2 in the house set up, and it looks like they're even. And then Team Hojan with Hammer, trying to keep things clean, trying to make some hits, but we just went through the wickets there. So we're going to go back to our championship match. It looks like they're well into seconds rocks, maybe even vice rocks. It looks like Nicholas is trying to get something to curl here. It looks like this is a steel, full-on steel, because they're playing like center guards, off-center guards, and then trying to race to the button. So looks like we're Kevin Stevens, vice for team Jacko Daniels. He's trying to size this up and see if the angles are right on a little tap, but I think he's going to be putting it right on the button. Yeah, folks, this is a precise shot. He's going to be asking to put it right on the button. His team's not going to like that. They kind of give him a little shrug when he first did it, because they understand how tough this is, and if they crash a guard or miss, they're going to go down. They're going to take a timeout right now. There is no official timeout, but sometimes when you're in the second vice rocks and they don't see the angles, this is an experienced team, experienced curlers. They're going to go take a quick look at this and take a quick, so he gets a sense in his mind of what shot is. This doesn't happen very often. That's why you play fast, folks. You get in the hack, throw those lead rocks, throw those second rocks, get through those rocks quickly, so when these tough shots happen, you have the time to line them up and talk through all the iterations of chess on ice. That's why we love this game. Makes it hard. So I think that Kevin is seeing the same angles that we are on this, that we might be, he may be just trying to limit damage. Looks like red is shot. So we might want to go ahead and zoom in as Kevin gets in the hack. Zoom in on that button on sheet B. Just take a quick look at the angles. Looks like Kevin, they are absolutely going to draw and put a second one in. So we won't be able to see his slide out, but he definitely gave it a little pop of positive. The sweepers behind it, they're just walking this rock down. They may be just putting one out in the open. Super wide. It is not curling on this handle. So, and now it is diving over. Folks, this is a quality curling shot. Threw it out wide, got it back in, covered the button. What a shot. Kevin Stevens, folks, the bald assassin, hitting it. Here for the booze. We've got a big crowd for Here for the Booze, so go ahead and widen that back out to sheet B. We're going to see this. Nicholas is getting in the hack. He's going to have to follow that down. He's got tightened him up just a bit, just to get a little bit more weight, just to jostle them around. So Kevin showed him the way, and we'll see if they can recreate this. They think he's narrow. Nope, they're up and down. Up and down. Now there's hard. They're worried that it's going to curl too much and crash into this pile. And it did. It nudged it, and it is not shot. It is red is shot. So we don't have to have another discussion. They're just going to say red is shot. So Brady is a little frustrated with his sweepers. He thought he was on the whole time. They thought he was off and on. And so there's a little miscommunication there, a little quick discussion on the front end about the sweeps. So looks like if he sinks another one in like that, he's going to be a little more aggressive and hit this in a little backline weight. He thinks he can get it to nudge out and then get both of those counters in a good spot. So they're a little tighter They're throwing back line weight. He thinks he needs to curl this a bit. Needs it to curl. Heavier weight will not curl on this line, folks. So if you got it heavy at all, but it did dive in at the end, and then he got it on there, but he now tapped it, shot with a, so it either yellow shot or red shot. It was a quick look, and folks, it's with Red Hammer, with a lonely yellow in there, he knows that Ryan can make this good. He can let it go there. That was a nice draw. I think that it was a nice draw, and it was a great back line. They just nudged that top one. It was a risky shot, but the reward is here, folks, because you could see a pile of points, and so it looks like Brady's going to have to do a shot that he didn't want to set this end up for, which is a draw across and then sit right on top of his other one, and so he would be sitting potentially 1-2. It's a tough shot, folks. If he gets on this guard at all, gets on the one in the 8-foot, then it just opens this wide open for Ryan's shot. First shot to be sitting 3 or potentially even 4. So we're on sheet B here. Don't worry, we'll go around to your other sheets. We'll go on the main as Brady's coming out of the hack. As soon as the shot's there, we'll widen it back out. But that's right. We'll go just back to Cinco rectangle. They are worried that this is over curling. We were too. They're holding it hard. Now at the end, they let it curl. And it did not that good. And they're checking it out. They're checking it out. Folks, this angle's not good enough on the stream to tell. It's good. They're gonna. We've got an egg-shaped house. So if you've got a guess at who shot, both those vices have done this. So on his first shot, he's going to want to throw the shot that Kevin just threw. But they've all seen this line now. They know it does curl after the hog line. So they're going to still have to give it plenty of ice. And they're just trying to get a little chisel here and get another one sitting on the button. So, I appreciate that as they're talking about that, to just get a wide angle and see all these scores and all these shots. It is tight curling all across the board. These finals games, you couldn't ask for anything better than tight, close games for each of these event finalists. The only one that is getting a little bit out of reach, and it's just because of the styles, folks, is sheet D. It's there. We've got another opportunity for Alan Shaw. He's sitting shot. He's back guarded. This is another chance to steal. So we're gonna get. It is 5-0. So we're gonna do our main sheet. Cinco rectangle. Cinco rectangle. So as we see, we're going to keep it here for a good chunk of this end. Oh, absolutely, Kyle. Sheet B is asking for trouble. They are just flirting with disaster, and then just doing a dance with it. And then no, we're good. Oh, last rock's on A. All right, so we got Jeremy Hojan in the hack. Looks like they are trying to draw. The front end did make a call here and change the shot. Jeremy was going to try to draw for one, but it looks like they're going to be throwing it from the outside of the sheet. Don't try this at home. When the front end changes your shot and you just flip the whole mindset, that is really tough. So we're going to go, Ryan is now bringing it in. So here it is. chance for multiple. He needs this to curl at the end. Now they're on the sweep, right there, keeping it high, and it may be one yellow, it may be run red. They were trying to get it. We don't know. It is that lonely yellow that is preventing a giant end. So Jeremy is trying to get it to be count good. Oh, he's a bit heavy, but it is just one yellow. I think that the front end saved him on that. If he's heavy on the other side, it just stays straight, stays out in the 12, and they could steal 3, but instead it's just a steal of 1. They keep hammer, and honestly, folks, hammer on the even ends is what you are shooting for. Hammer on the even ends. Go ahead and go to our main sheet draw. A Cinco rectangle. So we got sheet C, that third, fourth place game, and we've got a crazy house there. And we have and we got the championship match on sheet B. We've got a lot of new viewers out there, and so I'm going to go ahead and quickly. Team Hosian is throwing Red Rocks. This is the C event finals, and wishful thinking from out of Raleigh. So this is a Charlotte Raleigh, North Carolina slobber knocker battle. And then Team Jacko Daniels and here for the booze. That is your A event final, and we have Brady Gould throwing his last rock. And this is by, we've got sheet B. He could be, with this ice, throwing a little bit heavier weight, trying to get one, limit the damage, make this hard for Ryan to get that red rock moved. So he may be throwing a guard, but no, this is coming in the house from this weight. It is coming down. They're worried about it being wide. And here it is. It just hit and moved over. So we can't see where this is, but I think this is just a draw for 2. Just a little nudge, and they're putting down the same ice. We've seen the same 5 shots going right through that port. I mean, folks, if you haven't curled before, that port is probably a rock and a half, 2 rocks wide, even though it looks much bigger on the feed, because of the curl of the ice. I mean, you've only got, it looks like there's plenty of room there, but these guys are throwing really precise shots to get it out wide enough to hold the line, and then it's diving over it. But after they see rock after rock, it is turned into a mixed doubles game here at the end because we've got 5 rocks touching the 4-foot. So we are going to have a 6th if it goes like this. And this is just a draw for 2, trying to get 2 in a tied game in the championship match on the 5th end. Brady knows that this is a tough shot. And a steal here isn't disaster for Team Jack-O-Lanterns because you would then have even hammers down 1. So 2 is great here. 1 being forced to 1 is not a great result in a tight game. Having these and we saw how hard this is, and got a bit wide and a bit heavy, and now it's a steal of 2. That's a big result. Holy smokes, a roller coaster right there. We talked about it, how hard that shot is over and over again. We saw 5 well-executed shots, and that last one was just a bit heavy. It was not offline. It was not anything wrong with it, just 6 to 8 feet too heavy. And then it was a steal of 2. And they keep him even hammer. So now team here for the booze does jet out. That's the first. All these ones, and tied. That it does feel like that 2 was more than 2. Some shots feel more than that. All right, Trevor. So let's see. This is Steve's shot on C. Steve McKee. And he's looking to get another one sunk in here. He looks like he's sitting shot. There's a pile of yellows in the back of the tee line. An entire pile stacked like cordwood. But then he throws another in the 8-foot. And so there's no real easy way to get that red off the button. You might ask, why did he not leave it high? Because if he didn't get it into the 8-foot, then you have two paths to the access of that red, and you may see Kim get into the hack and then throw a missile. He may be doing that anyway, folks, because what he's going to be looking to do is hit this on the low side and actually catch. No, just go to the main. Go to the sheet C. Stay with Squid Pro Quo, because we're watching this third place game, and this is a key shot in this. So Squid Pro Quo could be taking a commanding 3-rock lead. I don't know if this is last or, yeah, this is last rock. So here we go. He's going to be throwing this pretty hard. He wants this narrow to stay there, and she's going to be cleaning. And now they're on the sweep. They do not want this to curl. It would chip this red. It's coming over more than he would like. Getting it through and hits the guard. And it is a steal of another steal of one. So as they move those rocks, Squid Pro Quo comes to the 6th end. Even hammer up 3. Squid Pro throw up 3 with Hoblin Goblins. All right, Cinco rectangle. And another could have been a steal, but I know my AV front end, my trusty sidekick, they are throwing red rocks first, so finally the hammer has flipped, and I don't know if Team Hot Shots will know what to do with the hammer. He may just call a center guard out of habit. So, he called a freeze. Wes might have just gotten a single cross after this much curling this weekend and going through this the B event slog. He might say, "What am I not doing? I don't know what to do except for just throw center guards. That's my job." So they do like this weight. It is coming down nicely. Oh, they're on the sweep hard. Definitely want to keep this moving. Don't want to cover this rock up, so they're just going to move it, keep moving it out of the way, so maybe another rock later can hit and move that over. So, they did just get one on hammer, so this is a commanding. They have the hammer and up 4, and so we're going to see. It looks like Team Firewater is going to want a tight guard and full-on steal. So this could be a pivotal moment in Sheet D after a long tournament. So as we move across, it is tied on Sheet A. This Raleigh-Charlotte battle just keeps taking blows, moving one and another. So it looks like Red has hammer and is potentially shot stones very close from this angle. We're on the outside of Sheet D looking across the sheet. So a lot of times we're looking at the same camera angle as you folks. And looks like Don Hojan is being asked to just tap this up. So it looks like the sweepers have said it's just a bit heavy. So they're worried that it's going to be on the yellow. They don't want to hit that too full. They are. It's not a bad result. It's a nice little hit under. I expect Team Wishful Thinking to hit that yellow and just get that red out, but having another biter would mean that you've got that one to draw behind. So Dawn's not happy with that split, but I don't think Jeremy's too worried about that, especially with the way the rocks are lined up. If he gets on the low side of this at all, he's actually calling a high side hit. I think he loses the shooter, and we don't like to second guess skips, but unless he's going right for the red rock, if he gets on the yellow rock at all, he would lose the shooter and the one. So it is over curling, folks. They are hammering this sweep. Definitely don't want to hit the yellow, but yes, it was high side, and they got a very nice roll. That's a perfect call. Can't see from this angle, but they could see that good side of the rock. So now Jeremy is left with just a straight hit, and he would like it to. He's calling this pretty tight ice, so she's going to be throwing pretty good weight here. And looks like Dave Coates is on the sweep. Now they want it to curl. They're holding this around because if it rolls and hits under, it rolls under. What a beautiful curling shot. Throws his hand up, happy with his wife's shot. So it definitely puts team wishful thinking. Mark Palmieri on his first shot. They've got to go for a double here, trying for a big end. Had a big end working, but now, even though this is pretty tight with one just biting the 12-foot and one in the 8-foot, I'm going to tell you on this ice in the this double from this direction, yeah, he wants to come from the other handle. That's not the natural handle you would call this double, but this is the one that he's left with because he wants the straight way. As the Purple Witch comes there was a little bit of front end communication. They're going to have to come back and talk about it just a second. Yeah, we didn't like that handle here up in the booth, did we, Trevor? Didn't like that handle on sheet A. So yeah, exactly. I saw. That's right. So they kept the handle the same after that discussion with the front end, but up here we don't like this handle. We're worried about the bad things that can happen. Sometimes as a skip, you're not just calling like the perfect shot, what's the great thing that can happen, but you also are calling what you think could be the bad result, like if you miss. So that just kind of plays with your head. And so they're worried about it over curling here and just jamming and then being a very good guard. And that's exactly what happened. So that's what they're worried about at that handle, and that's what happened. So now it's going to give Jeremy an opportunity here to just kind of straight draw and put one on the button and then really take all those wonderful counters out of play. Because now you'll be sitting 1 and 2, and they'll have to do the run back double, which is never a guarantee. So the other option that he said, he's talking to his front end. Don's just holding the broom like he's going to end up with the draw. And we all know Jeremy. He will try to draw with the over curl as the option. So she's just got the broom down. She knows where the ice is. And he trusts her. They've curled together a long time. So sure enough, this is just going to be a draw. They're going to say back 8 is okay. They just need another counter and make this a long, they want it to overcurl, make this a long run back double, because the run is actually pretty short. It's only about 3 feet, 4 feet at the most. So they want to give a lot of space for those rocks to make this a little harder. So there you go. So let's, oh, okay, cool. So sheet C is a really clean end. We're just trying to hit. Carol's throwing off the stabilizer. We're just worried about this over curling. So, but she'll clear one out either way. Yep, she got it underneath. Nice little nose hit there. And they've got one in the back. So here we go. They're sweeping hard. They're worried that Jeremy's just a bit short. So they want to. They do not. They want this to be on the guard and then make this angle really tough. Uh-oh. Yeah, there's hands on hips there, folks. Just hoping that rock position changed, because now we're just going to run straight at this, and this could be a big flip in this game, because now there is that draw was a little light, over curled, and guess what? They're in boots deep, as Omar would say here in the warm room. And so if they make this shot good, they'll be sitting 4 with all kinds of wall of guards up there. So they're worried that this overcurled, and they're on the red. Uh-oh. They did chip this in. It may be through, and it just knocked off the red. And if it hangs on, folks, that is a mess. But now it is wide open. That's an easy yeah, they're just trying to get a second counter, where that first one, if they just remove it, it's got to be in the 8-foot open. So they just hit for 1. It's a good strategy. It's a good shot if they can make it. If they over curl and they tap that yellow forward, none of that's going to count. So make it. They've got plenty of room here to. They seem like they're going to go out a little wider. And so they talked about in the front end really quick. Dawn, they like this shot. They like the draw. They just need to get it in here. Getting on the red and maybe splitting that's not terrible either. But they need this to create space and not perfectly lined up, because you don't want this run back double just to be able to double them off and then get a big crooked number. So this is a key shot in this game on sheet A. Jeremy is in the hack. This is his last rock. But it is not the last rock of the end. It is the last. Oh, yeah, it is. This is it. They're just drawing for 2. Oh, I'm sorry. This is a completely. I've done messed up. But they're worried about it. They're worried about it being light again. And I think he stands up. He thinks it's good, but they got to get it there. They're getting it on the sweep really hard. The first one was light. It is coming through. Dawn's coming through. They're worried about it being wide. And sure enough, that is a good draw for 2. Sixth end, moving to the 7th. We'll go on the Cinco rectangle. Good job. That's right. He just got his draw for 2. And so we're going to thank all of our sponsors in the 6th end, but I'll read the copy of that. So we thank My Dentist, Davos Day Vineyards, McKee Travel, QRS Service Master, and Sonic Automotive. Buying a car is one of the most exciting things you can do. It's why Sonic Automotive goes above and beyond to make the car buying experience as enjoyable as possible. Sonic Automotive believes that buying a car doesn't have to be painful. This is why, starting with their Charlotte stores, they have eliminated everything you hate about car buying and replaced it with an experience you love. At Sonic Automotive, you'll have one dedicated experience guide that takes you through the whole shopping and buying process from start to finish. Sonic Automotive is one of the largest automotive retailers in the United States, and more importantly, the #1 retailer striving to make their guests happy. You can save time shopping around and feel confident you're getting a fabulous, wonderful price. Contact Sonic Automotive for a pressure-free car buying experience, whether you're looking to buy or sell. At sonicautomotive.com, that's sonicautomotive.com, or give the team at Sonic Automotive a call at 704-566-2400. We thank Sonic Automotive for their support. If you'd like to join our team, go ahead. If you'd like to join our team here sponsoring. If you're in the Charlotte region, Charlotte area, you know a business that has a connection to a curling or curling. We love to support curlers who own businesses. If you want to contact us at sponsorship at charlottecurling.com. Jake Ennis, one of our curlers who is at a wedding this weekend. Shout out to Jake Ennis. He's at a wedding of his friends. He would most likely be on team here for the booze, playing with that team, but he wasn't able to be here because of a wedding. And there's a double. There's a double that rolls out by Kim Hicks to make the 2 count. So this, it looks like Steve is lining up a hit just to limit the damage, and he doesn't mind giving up 2 here and getting that. Yeah, he doesn't mind giving up 2 here. This is his last shot. If he makes this good, it will bounce back towards the. He doesn't want to over curl here. He wants to be on the high side, bounce it back, and he could be under cover, which would then take out that counter. If it's open, it'll be a hit. If not, it'll be a draw for 1. Any of those results will be good. So they're worried about it. She's not worried about it over curling. This is not curling the way they like. This could be a flashed hit. Oh, nope, he did get a piece of it. Rolled out. That was the result they wanted. Will Kim go for this split? Oh, there it is. He's already lining it up. He's eyeing it up. I think this was the plan all along, folks. If you don't know, you're trying to hit. You're just trying to throw draw weight at this. Maybe even a little heavier. And what you want to do is bounce this rock off and then score both rocks. So this is a draw weight. They're just worried about it being draw weight. You just need both to do this. This could be a score of 3, and they're right back in it, and with even hammers. So we're watching this. I want to highlight. Go ahead and highlight that button on sheet B. We're not in sheet D. We're on sheet B. I'm sorry, C. Yeah, yeah, the third place game. Yep, exactly. I probably said all of them. All right, so get that button. Kim is cleaning off his rock, getting into the hack, explaining this to the front end that he wants this just to chisel just the ever a little bit and get 3 and be right back in. This is an opportunity, folks, to see a pretty cool curling shot. Yeah. It's true. So here it is. They're wanting to catch. He may be a bit heavy. This could be a really rough. Result out of opportunity here. That doesn't seem like a big miss, folks. But I'll be honest. The draw for 2 was there, and he just wanted to be draw weight. He didn't want to be any heavier than that. And it just stayed straight. And Steve is poking his head up a little bit and kind of shrugging his shoulders. I think he feels like he's frolicking in a patch of clover because of Kim's miss there. He won't. You can't tell. He's not doing anything besides the spirit of curling. But Mario and crew are just getting in the hack. You can kind of see from their body language. They just don't feel like everything's clicking right now. Here we go. So there you go. He hit it out, and it's handshakes all around. It is Alan Shaw's Hot Shots team, the champions of the B event. Steal your way to victory. Crush your opponents by cutting them 1,000 times. However you want to do it. Just focus in on those handshakes, folks, because that was with the hammer. Count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A score of 5, a perfect shot to then put this game away. and just run away 10-1. And we thank the folks from Team Waters. They have been wonderful guests here at the Charlotte Curling Club, Potomac Curling Club. Earlier you saw them play their other comrades from Potomac. It was a back and forth battle, but this one we had the Team Hot Shots, the B event winners. I had so many clubs. There's 4 curlers, 3 clubs represented. They're all a melting pot of a gang of misfits, a melting pot of Southeast curlers, and they were led to victory by that wonderful steel machine named Alan Shaw. Thank you, Emma. I know, congrats. They had a beautiful, wonderful week. They deserved the B event. They just had one hiccup early on and then just rolled through the field in the B event. So now we're back on to championship matches that are still anybody's game. If you know who's going to win, just put it in the chat, because I don't. And I'll just randomly call you out and just say this person thinks this. So it looks like on our championship match, Brett Kubrick throwing second rocks. They're looking for one to touch the button. So it looks like team here for the Boos. They've been curling beautifully, back and forth. These teams know each other, folks. It's not like they haven't curled against each other. Actually, Ryan Smith plays lead on Brady Gould's team and Monday nights in our competitive league. So the way we do our teams here in Charlotte is that if you have more than one Charlotte competitor on your team, you're considered a Charlotte team. So you're allowed to have one Charlotte competitor, which is Team Hot Shots. Another shout out to them. But if you have more than one, you have to go into a lottery, so everybody gets in the lottery. So the way we do the lottery, folks, if you're listening from across, we let every curler put their name in the lottery, even brand new curlers, veteran curlers, whatever. And so they can choose whatever position. So if you win the lottery, and we only allow 5 Charlotte teams, you may have seen a number of more Charlotte teams, but that was because some teams at the last minute had some illnesses. We had one COVID-related group that went ahead and stayed home. We had some travel issues, things like that. So we did add a couple of last-minute Charlotte teams. But as you win the lottery, you can choose your teammates. So if you're a brand new curler at Charlotte Curling, you can have a Bondsfield team. Just throw your name in the hat. You win the wheel, and then you can choose who would like to curl you. These new curlers become very popular because if you're a new curler and you won your lottery and you're a Charlotte curler and we're planning on playing in this Bonspiel, then you have to figure out a way to include them and allow them to participate. So don't like to have this many Charlotte teams. We had 8 Charlotte teams as a part of the field, but as COVID is lifting and as some of the travel restrictions are lifting, normally about this time of year we'll have a strong Canadian contingent. We've been lucky to have some Canadian teams join our Grits and Granites, so we just decided to go with a little different theme, keep it more regional, and we have had some great curling there. So back to curling. Sheet D did not hang that final score, but we do know it. And it looks like on Sheet C, Squid Pro Quo is looking for this to get there, a little heavier weight. Don't want to tap this shot, but that's what they're going to get. Up, he's on it. 6 feet of fury. Steve raises his hands. He's happy with that shot if it is back far enough. But those 2 counters are going to be a big deal. So now Kim is going to ask Di to go ahead and sink another one in here. Just sink one in. So as Di releases, sweepers think it's a little light. They also think it's a little narrow. So both sweepers are now leaning on their brooms pretty hard, trying to get it on. They think it's light and narrow. We don't know. Let's see as they drag it through. I think he's going to leave it up higher. Yeah, and that's maybe going to do the job and be second shot. That's the first most. Oh no, it is not. It is absolutely not second shot. It's going to be just first shot. So what Steve is going to see is he going to line up for Brad? Is he going to line this hit up and try a double, or is he going to try to draw? And this is the draw around. If you're trying to steal, as we've seen with Alan Shaw team, it's a powerful weapon to throw it in there and draw. But if you don't feel like you've curled a bunch this week and you've got a good feel for what shots your players are comfortable taking, that's what you want to live in these championship matches. You don't want to make your front end players uncomfortable. You want to call shots that they're very comfortable with. So he throws this weight, and it's a big weight takeout. Amanda's on the sweep trying to carve this thing in, trying to get it onto that top rock. And yes, it does. Worried it's going to jam out the back, and sure enough, it does hit his out. And honestly, that one that's stuck on the top, that's not a terrible result. Kim is not going to really like this. He's either going to say, Mario, draw this in and protect our shot rock, or sink it in there, get it to the top four. We'll see. Mario got in the hack pretty quick. They were on the same page. I think he likes this draw path. And honestly, anything from top 8 to back 8 is what is going to happen. Oh, he's got a lot of weight on this, so this may be an audible. It's a bit wide and a bit heavy. It's been a long week of curling, folks. So that's what happens. You think...
Yes, you.
Yeah.
No curling.
Yeah. So it is hitting the red, and he's going to try to sweep that out. And let's see, he got on it pretty hard, but if that's second shot, that means they're sitting 2-3, and honestly, that's not the result he was looking for. It's a little wide, a little heavy. I'll be honest, as you get more and more games under your belt over a weekend, everybody thinks you would be throwing shorter because you're tired. Not the case. You will be throwing heavy and wide because you won't have your arm locked out. You'll just have that weird thing. And we see the team wishful thinking as he's trying to throw this draw, and he got caught up in his cape. Got down on the ice, but he popped back up, and they're just hoping this tap works. Now they're sweeping hard. It's curling at the end. This could be it just bounced all around, stayed up high, and not the result they were looking for on sheet A. But we're seeing it all over, these tight, close games at the end of a wonderful weekend of curling, precise shots. It's going to be... So it's even more important for these skips to call shots that are comfortable, that feel like they're easy. And sure enough, that's going to be a nice draw there to be sitting 1, 2, 3 with that Carol McKee's Vice Rocks. It feels like, though, that they're excited. There's a little juice in the Mario. He's gotten in the hack. He feels like he missed his last shot, but he's got second bite at the apple, because he's going to come right on top of this one. Little juice. At the end. All right, yes. Are you getting anything else besides a pin? Sorry, I'll mute. It's amazing. Yeah, the Sweepy Hollow Bonspiel Trophy is a headless curling head horseman, and it is a metalwork inside a woodworking hexagon with a little nod to that hornet or a bee, even though they're not there. Yep. So we're gonna move over. We're gonna move over to Carol. No, we're moving over to sheet A. We've got a scatter shot. It looks like a shotgun gone wrong on sheet A. We have welcome all these new concurrent viewers. We have between 30 and 100 people watching this last bit of the 2021 Sweepy Hollow Bonspiel. We've got amazing games. I know you've texted your friends, say, come look at these games. Don't come for the announcer. Come for the curling. And you guys will hear. My name's Neil Pfeiffer. I'm here with Trevor Suarez, AV guru of Charlotte. Yes, I've just given him a new name. He's a guru. We're going to make AV pins. We got to have AV club pins. We do too. There you go. We're in. So we're going to, if you've got some ideas for what an AV club curling pin would look like, go ahead and throw that in the chat. But we've got this last rock coming. The wishful thinking skip, Mark Palmieri, he's in the hack looking at this house. Yeah, you're fading over there. He's looking to do a raise, try to get a pile here. He's going to try to get this. He got the ice called. He's trying to get this red rock out. He's just any way possible. Raise this yellow rock and get it across and knock out the red. And then he's got to sweep. He's got to get on it. And sure enough, he got his two. Gets it tied. Wonderful curling shot there. It looks like Trevor had lined that up. And it could be as heavy or as light as it needed to be. But it needed to get, could not be too light. It just needed to be heavy. So go ahead and back to the Cinco de rectangle. So we got our championship match. So they did get yellow too to tie that game up. The C event final. We've got barn burners all across the sheet. So we're fading back. I know you're here for the booze. So it looks like we're back in the same position, folks, on these in-turn draws from a right-handed curler, playing the same side of the sheet, the same as the last. I mean, you guys might think we're just on playback mode. And we did go down to B and C as these lead rocks are getting positioned. We'll update you on where those positions are. So it is a 8th end barn burner coming back, and we won't let it go too far past the lead rocks before we bring all those in. But we've got these. It looks like Steve McKee's lining up. We're coming in late on this end, but we're thinking that this could be a big end on the 7th. He may be trying to just get this to be a draw tap, sort of tap this back, make the counters count. Or it could be just a draw for 2 and take a commanding 4-rock lead going into the last end. Squid pro quo. So it does look like a little heavier than draw weight. He's got to get around this. I think he's not going to be happy with this. It's going to over curl. And it's going to run one of these yellow rocks back into that. So they may get off the sweep and just let this happen. So it is a blast apart here. It kind of split those. That was first skips rocks. That was not last rocks. So we're good. So go ahead back to the BC view. And we've got a discussion here between Kevin Stevens, the vice, Ryan Smith, the skip. They're just looking. I think they're wishing that it wasn't the same shot they've just thrown 115 times today, which is that in-turn draw at just a different weights, maybe a little lighter, a little heavier. And so we know on the last time on the second skips rocks of there. So he's going to be coming the other direction, folks. It is not going to be the in-turn. He's just like, yup, I know what the speed is. I'm going to come out turn. So let's see how this plays out. He's usually a good rule of thumb if you are a newer curler out there is that if there's a lot of curl one way, it will not curl as much going the other handle on the same line. So that's usually just a good rule of thumb. It's going to curl a little less, so you can see they've tightened up this line. So they may be throwing this at about hack weight. They didn't indicate to me or to any of their teammates. They just kind of made that verbal communication. But we wouldn't expect a big weight tape out, but he did add a little bit of positive. And so they're trying to, they're already off this rock. They're letting it curl. They're worried about it. There it is. And there it is, a nice shot rolled to the button. He knew that he put the broom down. He said, nope, this is it. And it did curl right at the end, just that least little bit, an eighth of a rock movement, and it got by. And so we'll see what Brady does. He probably wanted that to be a little narrower, but he couldn't have done that because it would have chipped the guard. He actually thought halfway down the sheet, he had his arm out like if the guard chips, sweep it out. But then it did move at the end, and he just is going to make Brady hit this shot. Let's see how it works out. So he's got, he is sitting definitely 1-2. And on this last Brady stone, he's just trying to get rid of one, and hopefully it's going to curl. We know it's going to curl. We know it's going to curl on the end turn. We just want it to curl over top and then be shot. He's got to make this good, and it's a tough one. They're talking to the front end, and the front end is not convinced that he can throw that weight to keep it around. So they're trying to see if that doubles there, trying to knock them both out and then be sitting shot or two. But there's lots of discussion, and they move that broom another width of a broom out, and after that discussion with the front end, then he moved him another width, and we saw this, folks, from the warm room. It's in real time. It's not back calling. It's not armchair quarterbacking. As we are throwing this, he's going to be doing this. So he's going to be throwing this in turn, and it's a big weight, and he got it a little bit. He got it on the line, and now they're curling it. They're trying to get it to curl and not be a part of this red. He's carving it, and we're hoping it is a nose hit. And so they do have a chance at getting two here. Two red would be a good result to get them back in this match, this championship match. So, yeah, definitely red scoring, but we couldn't tell that, and they're going to be coming back down. Being that this is the third, fourth place game, this is the championship of the D event. If red was able to score more than one, it was one yellow on C. So definitely one yellow. And so now here we go, folks. Here we go. It is coming down. This has to be a guard. There's not a lot of pressure lead shots, but if this hogs or if this is in the rings, then we are done. It's going to be hit, and it is going to be there. And I'll be honest, that front end, Circle City, you could tell he felt that little bit of pressure. He's been throwing comfortable guards all week long, but now it is a high one guard, and honestly, folks, that you couldn't ask for a better result as a center high guard there. And so what Steve is going to do is, instead of going to the wings, he's going to draw to the top of the 12-foot, and this is where you're going to see a little different strategy than what you would see in a professional game. There is zero chance you'd see this in a professional game. They would be throwing in the house, or they were going to be throwing. So maybe they're trying to tick here. Maybe they're trying to push this in. So they're off the sweep. They do not want this to be on top of the yellow. Staggered center guards is like a disaster. And we have seen disaster happen. So now Kim is going to be like, here we go. We can steal two. He might throw a third guard up there, but he says, no, it's time to come in the house. If you're a little light here, that's okay. Anything behind these staggered center guards is going to be good. And if he makes it good here, and so they don't like the weight here. They think it's a bit light, but Kim may actually communicate with them and say it's totally fine if it's light. They're flirting with this red guard. They're coming over. It's coming over hard. He is going to be tickled to death about that guard on sheet C. We're going shot by shot because now this is a pressure shot for Amanda Smith as she gets in here. It is a race to the button. They are not getting rid of. I mean, the rule of thumb is you can double off some guards, but you're going to have to throw that peel weight and be precise. That is not going to happen in club curling a lot. So this is a race to the button. Who can get there first? And so they think this is light also. And on this side of the sheet, we're seeing that this group is curling a bit. And he's like, nope, it's on the yellow. And then now they have quadruple center guards. This race to the button is having in fits and spurts. It is not happening all at once. So now, as Dye gets in the hack, you see that Kim's gone way out into the 12 foot. We know this is diving over, and that one guard will be in play if she throws this. So we haven't seen a rock on this line in 2 ends or 3 ends. So we hope she gets out there. It's also can be a bit heavier. We've seen these rocks be a little lighter. These are tight. This is going to be a tight to the guard, but it must be heavy enough to get by. It is going to dive over here at the end. So there it is. Mario's going, and we need to get it there. It's carving and stopping, but they're going to get every inch out of this, and sure enough, to the top 8 it goes. So who won the race to the button? We don't know. And now we're going to be killing guards, but this might have been a rock too late to kill these guards. So we didn't call the championship game, but Ryan Smith was held to 1 there. And on the 8th end, they're going to have to steal 3. That's a tall order with those center guards and where they're playing. It's going to be there. So Brad Smith throws really heavy weight at this. You got to get a hold of these guards, and barely did. But he did get 2 out of there and got another off the button. That is the job he needed to do. Seconds rocks and got all those guards moving. So we're going to stick with sheet C unless something major happens. We can go to the Cinco shot because we got 2 Kai games and 2. I know, I did. We're going to call sheet C, but we're going to keep the view of all 4 sheets. So go back to the Cinco. All right, so Ty has been asked to throw 2 money draws, but she's a little wider on this one, and being the second one on there, they think it's a bit heavier. So they've got to make a decision. Or am I going to sweep it out? And maybe he's rethinking that because that one in the back 12 could be one that he used to trawl to because all they're looking for here is just a 1. But yeah, we're ripping this next guard, just ripping the guard. He was a bit wide on this turn, so you see Steve narrow up, and if he hits this red guard out in front, that's not going to be great. He's not going to be happy about that. But that 1 guard is not there. So another peel weight takeout. He was a little narrow. We are going to be flirting with it. Amanda is on the sweep hard. We don't want to hit this red guard, but they did get by and then just move it over, and she saw it come there. And that's going to be tough, folks. Yeah, he kind of taps his broom down. It's not upset at all. Just he did rip that guard so he can see the one in the house. But putting another guard on the 4 foot, that makes the draw path even tougher. So now at this point, Kim has to decide, Am I going to bring it in the house or am I going to bring it up? And he says, do either, but we just got to guard our shot rock. So top 12, two guards, all going to be good. It's all about Mario's line. That you saw Kim take a half a second. If you have sharp eyes and you saw him doing that, he took an extra half a second on the line, kind of decide where Mario's been throwing. So there, he's like, he does not like the line. Does not like the line, and they're waiting for it to get off this guard. This wouldn't be great to split the guard, so it did curl a little bit, but he was a little bit heavy. And so, sure enough, Steve now sees that line and gets to the back 8. He's going to have him rip again because those back ones we don't want. Oh, here we go, folks. This is the time. This is the shot. Carroll McKee in the hack. He sees the line. He says, I see this line. I know I can get back to that one. Let's get one good and out count all of these. This is a really key shot in this game on sheet C. Coming down, Carroll McKee. She's coming in. They're between a line and a weight. So this is it. They've got plenty of room. It needs to slow down. It needs to curl. That's going to do the job. We're playing mixed doubles now, folks. We've got one on the back 4 foot. He would have loved that to curl another 3 or 4 inches to get lined up. But either way, if he thinks Mario can get to the inside of that, it's going to be a steel festivus. So anything on the inside of this red rock, he tightened his line up because he's like, don't worry about chipping ours. We want to get there. So he was okay, and there, just from the release, it looked like it's floating out just a bit. It's got a good bit of weight on it. It seems to be floating out. It's not coming back like the others. This may be chipping the outside yellow, but that's not. Now he's going to tell Carroll that he wants it higher, protecting that shot rock. This is a bold move to play with fire, because if you get a tap and then you make this shot, then Hobbling Goblins with Kim Hicks as the skip will make tap good, and then you are in trouble. So a lot lighter shot called. They're worried about the line. They're not worried about the weight on the shot. They are worried about the line. They are communicating Brad and Amanda Smith on the sweep. It's tough to get into this line. It's now a 2 guard. They're sweeping every inch, trying to get it there. 2 guard. Excellent scrub there from the So now what we're doing is we're talking about line and weight. So they're going to go out a little wider. We've noticed this on some of the out turns. If you can get it out into the blue and your weight's great, it will dive back over at the end. And because that guard got moved out about another foot, 6 inches, we're going to see if Kim can sink one right on the button. So instead of that run back, which was probably eyeing up, he was just kind of giving a little nod. He's going to want to make this a button draw. And then, again, this is all for a steal. If he gets a button draw, though, then Steve is going to have to figure something out. He may do the triple run back, but that's got a lot of risk, because then he would be drawing against 4 or 5 if it's not made good. So let's see with Kim in the hack cleaned his rock, about ready to deliver. They're just cleaning. They're happy with the weight. Now the line call is coming. They've got to hammer it. It's got to go. And now they've got to wait, and hopefully it'll curl back. This is what it was, but it was just a bit heavy. It's hard to judge that shot, folks. So we're going to try to put one on the top 12, and he's going to go way out wide. Honestly, you really can't. I mean, you can go out that wide, but you need to go another 3 or 4 inches if you wanted to clean. All right. So, congratulations to Team Hojan. No, Team Hojan. They are sitting 1-2 without throwing skips rocks. Congratulations, the C event winners, Team Coats and Hose, and Team Wishful Thinking. Great game, tied coming into the 8th. Lots of guards. Didn't call that game coming down because they were sitting 2 most of the game. Congrats to both teams. They are good friends. There's lots of hugs around, and it was a score of 1, and they are the C event winners. Congratulations. So, back to Sheet C, B and C. Those are our 2 games there. Our championship match and our 3rd place game coming down on the 8th end, both directions. And so now Ryan is trying to find a way to get 3. He's lining something up. At this point, we call this Cirque du Soleil. He's just trying some circus shots to try to get in here. Trick Shot Tuesday. That is one of our leagues, folks. Trick Shot Tuesday. It's all about new curlers, learning, and people that are new to back end. So we have a lot of crazy shots that go on. So we encourage people to go crazy. And this is what Trick Shot Tuesday is. So Kevin Stevens, Trick Shot Tuesday, coming through a port and trying to hit and knock both in. And is sitting 4th and 5th. So he's got 2 rocks in play. Have no clue how we're going to get any other rocks out in the back. So there is a little bit of hands on hips and figuring out what to do. This is not a clean, easy end that that team here for the Booze would have wanted. He wants an easy end. So he's going to say, go ahead and throw that guard. And here we go. Kim Hicks on Sheet C, settling in for his final shot. He's gonna play this tap, folks. He's gonna play the tap, and he's about to slide out on Sheet C. And I want to focus in on that sheet. It's gonna fade over. And here he goes. He delivers. He's going through that very tiny pointer, about a rock and a half. He's got to get the tap to hit. He's going to have to hold this line. He's going to have to hold it. They're on the sweep a lot. They don't want it to move at all. They get him off the sweep. They're happy with this. They need it to curl just a bit. And there it rubs. And it taps. And it does not tap. Tap. It was a very tough shot. Lots of handshakes and hugs all around. Again, 2 Charlotte teams, 2 triangle teams. Well fought, hard fought battles, both directions. Both teams got a little better today. And our final match, our featured match, our championship match, has not been decided yet. Congratulations to Team Squid Pro Quo. Team Squid Pro Quo. They are your 3rd place competitors. Congratulations, Kim and Di Hicks. Team Hobbling Goblins. They were worthy competitors down to the last shot. Final semi-finalists. They were just wrecking their half of the draw, their field, and then they ran into a juggernauts here at the end of the match. So lots of handshakes, big shout out to the lead, Keith Hammer of Circle City. Thanks for coming. All right, so we are on sheet B now. Ryan Smith has had a teleconference, a fly across the country talk with Kevin Stevens. They have been talking about the mathing that would need to go on to get this to be the result they would like. So they looked at about 15 shots, did all the iterations, and they've come up with a shot they think could potentially give them a score of a steal of 3. So they're going to have to get rid of some yellow. They are on the sweep hard. They are on the sweep hard. They are trying not to hit red. They are trying to hit yellow. And they did hit the red first. So they did get rid of that guard. So what shot could be available to Ryan Smith? It looks like he's going to be putting another one right on the button. I'll be honest, this commentator and so many of you out there look at this rock setup and you may think there is no shot, but if you can see most of the rock here, we can get a rock that goes around the horn and pops up. So I think Brady sees that also, and so he's going to want to throw this rock into the top 8 B shot or B4 shot, and then make Ryan try to do something crazy to get all 4 pieces of granite moving, and then get to the shooter to say. So there may be a handshake after this shot, or they just quickly throw a hopeful heavy shot as our final stones of the 2021 Sweepy Hollow Bonspiel. So Brady's got a very comfortable, they're both there. They don't mind if this goes back to the back 8. They just need another rock in the house. They're just going to curl here at the end. Oh, they're getting on it, just one. So they did get that rock out, so that did not help their cause. So they're looking at this around the horn. Yep, there it is. They're lining it up. It's called an around the horn. They're going to get this action. The idea is to hit the low side of this rock, get rid of the top 2. It's going to have to be a lot of weight, and they have to get it low. And it has to hit and then pop up, and then you've got to make Brady Gould outdraw the third counter. So this is the previous one. I will be honest, this is as much as Ryan can throw, because he's got to get all these rocks out, and potentially he wants this the rock that is lined up on the inside of this rock, he wants it to drag away. He doesn't know if this is there, but he's going to have to throw this at a really high weight. Yep, he did. He's got it out wide. He's got to be the inside of this rock. It is going to happen. He just got it out wide, and he just got the 2. Yeah, and there is going to be handshakes all around, folks. That is a tough shot. He needed to throw a missile, and the champions of the 2021 inaugural and only Sweepy Hollow Bonspiel is Here for the Booze. There were lots of you out there that are going to be hitting the congrats button. Jessica Captain, I'm sorry, Jack O'Daniels. Why did I say Here for the Booze? Oh, no, Here for the Booze was the winner. Jessica Captain is lead. Brett Kubrick was throwing second rocks. Nicholas Visnich throwing vice rocks, and Brady Gould are your champions. Lots of hugs, lots of both Charlotte teams. They both know each other well. They've both had phenomenal weeks. Came down to the last rock. Great rock. So, for all of my AV partners, especially Trevor Suarez, the ICE crew, led by Omer Van Ruin, and all of the members of the Charlotte Curling Association, we appreciate you watching. And this is Neil Pfeiffer. We will see you for the next 2 events here. This is the Southern mixed doubles cash spiel and the Fighting Hornet 5 and under at the end of January. So we have a couple of other bonspiels. You'll hear a lot of your familiar announcers again. So we thank you for joining us. We know congrats Booze, congrats Hot Shots, congrats Team Hojan, and congrats Squid Plug Clo. This is us signing off from Charlotte Curling. Thank you and have a great afternoon.